today we are going to know about an important and also very useful topic in English grammar. Maybe you have listened many a times that finite and non-finite verbs. Finite and non-finite verbs. So what is the difference between finite and non-finite verbs? So here we will go first finite verbs. Right? Finite verbs are, so if you want to identify the verb is infinite or the verb is called as finite, just you have to know tenses first, right? So if the sentence is in a tense, any tense, right? We have 12 major tenses. So in that if you find the sentence is in a tense, in that you will find a finite verb, right? So finite verbs are, the first thing, finite verbs are affects with the subject. Finite verb affects with the subject. I'm sure that how it is, right? Here, suppose Raju speaks, right? Speaks is a verb which is affected by subject because here the subject is Raju. That's why speak in the form of speaks. So the subject affected speak to modify, and which verb modifies depend on the subject, then called as finite, right? So like that here again it is present tense and Raju spoke, and it is also a finite verb, and this is a tense which shows an action completed and also affected by a subject. It is a finite to identify. In coming to non-finite verbs, what are non-finite? Same here, which verb is affected by a subject called finite, and here quite opposite, right? Non-finite mean which verb doesn't affect with a subject is called non-finite, and it normally don't have any tense. What could, suppose they could listen. It is not in the tense, right? We don't find could in any tense. In simple tense, in present tense, past tense, and future tense, we don't find a could, might, may, should, and would. These use it to, and these we don't find it any tense. So after these, whatever verb comes, it is non-finite because it is not in the tense, and also the verb doesn't affect by a subject, because here if we use any subject it must be listen only, right? And coming to one more, that 2 plus infinitive, 2 plus infinitive verbs are called non-finite. Those are, suppose I am going to market to buy snacks. Suppose here if we find that here up to I am going to market is a sentence which is in present continuous tense, right? So in this there is a finite and there is a non-finite, and which is finite will go. The finite verb is here am, because it affected by a subject. Because there is a subject I, we used am. So the verb am is finite because it is affected, and going is not at all finite because it doesn't affect by a subject. Suppose if we use here I, we, you, he, she, it, they. Any subject if we use, going as it is comes. Right? But here what changes according to subject? Here if we use any they, instead of am, are will come. Right? Here this will change, right? So which affects by a subject called finite, and it is non-finite. And now just now I informed 2 plus infinitive and 2 by, here is a by, non-finite again, because it also doesn't affect by any subject. Here whatever subject if we use, to by will come as it is. Right? This is second one. And one more here is after models, right? In English we have models, right? Shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, must, used to. These all are called models. After models, here I have given one example, right? They could listen. If I use here anything, listen must come as it is. Right? So after this, whatever verb comes, after models, whatever verb comes, it is also non-finite. And coming to next term, models plus v1, and it is non-finite. And also gerunds we call gerunds, and verb form number 4, which we call present participle, and also called ing form of each and every verb. If a sentence starts with a gerund or ing form, then that verb comes under non-finite. Those are, suppose reading is my hobby. Here is reading. Actually, it is verb for present participle form, but here we use it as a noun, reading. So, therefore, it is called non-finite, and it doesn't affect with anyone actually, and it is not at all tense also. Right? So, it is non-finite, and it is non-finite, and it is non-finite, and 2 plus infinitive, and it is non-finite. Right? So these are the differences between finite and non-finite verbs. Right? Now it is easy to find in a sentence which verb comes under finite or non-finite. Hope you have understood well the differences between finite and non-finite verbs. From now onwards, you have an idea. If anyone asks, and if anyone have a question you, and if there is any practice bits, if there is any task to find out whether finite and non-finite, and if there is any chance to explain or to suggest to anyone what are finite and non-finite, and these are the explanations to you to find out whether the verb comes under finite and non-finite, along with the explanations, along with the proofs. Right? So hope it definitely helps you a lot to find out all these things. And we will meet with one more video with one more interesting topic like this in English grammar. Till that, bye. Thank you all.